Is recession inevitable? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. Grab your stein of coffee and I thought we'd have a look at this article or blog post from one of the trading platforms I use from IG. So macro intelligence, is a recession around the corner? And the question I will put to you, is it inevitable? Rising inflation, the slowdown in China, that's most important for us here in Australia, higher interest rates, and the potential for a US recession would weigh on the Australian economy, while the OECD forecasts our economy will grow just 1.7% in 2024. Now, we have to remember we've still got significant population growth. So if we're only going up 1.7%, but we have definitely higher than pre-pandemic population growth, what's that going to do with the per capita GDP growth? So, in this week's edition of Macro Intelligence, we explore the outlook for the global economy and the possibility of a recession. Is a recession looming? And if a recession does occur, is it, well, it's not the end of the world. The problem is, so few people remembered the last recession, the recession that Australia had to have, that they thought that this money handout baby recession we had was a real recession. The world remains in a period of economic uncertainty. Well, is there ever economic certainty? It always, this is a sentence you can use all the time. It's just a little bit more exciting. With soaring interest rates, higher oil prices, and dwindling pandemic savings all contributing factors, economists have been closely monitoring the elevated likelihood of a recession in the US and Eurozone for nearly a year, but their conviction levels have varied. One warning sign of a recession, the inversion of the US 2 to 10 year yield curve, has been flashing since June 2022. The US 10-year minus 2-year Treasury yield spread has remained inverted since then, which is typically indicative of a recession within 12 months. So, a US shutdown is averted again. I mean, it's not even news anymore. With the constant shutdowns. Here's the thing. You'll see people just play up the fear again and again and again. Oh, it's shutting down, it's shutting down, it's shutting down. It's the end of the economy. The US dollar is going to collapse. We'll all be depending on Russia and China as the world currency. And Brazil. I mean, come on. The US Congress has passed a bipartisan bill at the 11th hour to avoid a government shutdown, but there's still speed bumps ahead. The bill signed by President Biden will only liquidate the government for a further 45 days, meaning that if an agreement on the spending plans is not achieved by November 17th, the likelihood of a shutdown has just been pushed out further into the future. Yeah, they're kicking the can down the road. And, on the 17th, there'll be all these doom and gloom fear articles. It's all going to stop. It'll be fine. So just watch and see. Watch and see. It's all just negotiating tactics. The 11th hour US government funding bill will mean the key dates released, including Friday's monthly payroll report, can go ahead on time. Delayed data could have intensified market uncertainties by keeping the Fed on the sidelines. So economic warning signs. Bloomberg Economics sees 6 potential reasons a US recession is likely, citing worker strikes, rising oil prices, and higher inflation among them. The team also cites history as an indicator, with the number of news articles mentioning the optimism of a soft landing often peaking before a downturn hits. That's an interesting one. You know what? Let's do Google Analytics. Google Trends. Soft landing. Let's check this out, everyone. Here we go. Wait for it to load up. Soft landing. Search term. Oh, there we go. Well, it's not happening in Australia, is it? Interest over time. Is this the past week? Okay, I want the past year. Past 12 months. Yeah, okay, no, it has been increasing, here in Australia at least. Let's have a look worldwide. Soft landing, okay. I mean, okay, that interest, it was nowhere, and it's just, maybe it's just a Western term. Let's look at the United States. Yeah, okay. I mean, there was a jump. We'll have to see. Let's go past 5 years. Yeah, what was that? 2019. Let's go 2004 present. Now, are we going to see him right before the GFC? Yeah, I mean, it's jumping all over the place, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's definitely higher than it has been in their data. Okay, so that's true there. It's true, but I don't know how much you could take from that. Billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman is also seeing cracks appearing. He sees the 30-year rate testing the mid-5% and the benchmark 10-year approaching 5%. Ackman said he's still shorting 30-year Treasury bills as a hedge. So what's in store for Australia? Rising inflation, the slowdown of China, high interest rates, and the potential for a US recession would weigh on our economy. The Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development still expects our economy to record aggregate GDP growth of 1.8% for this year, in line with its previous forecasts. However, the OECD has downgraded its forecast for GDP growth in 2024, with the economy now only expected to grow by 1.3% over the calendar year. Outside of the pandemic, this would represent the weakest 2 years of aggregate growth since the early 1990s recession. Yes, but it's still not a recession, isn't it? They'll just kick the can down the road. The world economy, meanwhile, is expected to grow by 3% in 23 before slowing down to 2.7 in 24. And a disproportionate share of growth in 23-24 is expected to continue to come from Asia, despite the weaker than expected recovery in China. Well, so there we go, guys. Let's have a bit of a chat about this one, eh? I mean, here's the interesting thing. You see all these predictions and analysis and assessments and economic news, and there's always going to be a bias for negative news. We're primed to hear the negative, so there'll always be more and more of that out there. I mean, you just have to prepare if a recession is coming or if not. I mean, how can you act any differently? You just need to be sensible and plan. But it's going to be honestly, even if it does come, I think there'll still be some parts of the economy that'll be going gangbusters. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen if we have a recession here in Australia? What's the number one thing they'll do? I'll have a shot of coffee. You let us know in the comments. If you said stimulate the housing market, ding, 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 you win a prize. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this one. Do you think a recession is inevitable? Or is it just around the corner? Or will it just be smooth sailing? As always, thanks for watching. Check out HiserBim or Heiser Does. And if you're a fan and want to support us, you can on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy my pocket squares, or call me if you need an architect. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.